Hi, I'm Jenna Mongosa. My client is Mandy Bell. She is a female, and this will be her very first therapy session. She's struggled with anxiety her whole life, mainly started in high school and has continued throughout her life. Her anxiety is mainly with meeting new people in large crowds, which has pushed her away from seeking professional help. She's recently decided to receive help because she has just started a new job and she fears that she's going to fail at it, but it is very important to her and her family for her to succeed. So, that being said, she's here. Hello. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Welcome to the Pursuit to Live Counseling Center.
Hi, it's nice to meet you too. I've spoken with you a couple times. It's nice to finally be here in person.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you too. I'm glad I can finally put a face with the name. So I just want to start off by telling you a little bit about our confidentiality policy. This is a judgment-free zone, so anything you say will stay in this room. The only time I would ever feel like I would need to take it outside of this room is if I felt you were harm to yourself or somebody else. Is that okay? Do you wish to continue?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Real quick, can you sign this for me? And that just states that you agree with everything that I just said.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so why don't you start off by telling me a little bit about yourself?
I'm 30 years old, and I'm married and have 2 children.
Okay.
They are the most important people in my life, but recently I feel like I've been letting them down.
Is that why you came in today?
Yes, it is.
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about your kids?
Well, I have 2 children. I have a son who's 8, and I have a daughter who's 7, and they're full of life and always want to go here and go there, and I feel like a lot of times I have to tell them no when I would like to be able to take them places, but I have to tell them no because I don't feel comfortable really going out into public, even the park sometimes I get real nervous and my anxiety kicks in.
So you felt kind of hold you back from doing everyday normal things that somebody else would normally do? Okay. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about like why you feel like you're letting them down?
Well, I've always had anxiety in one form or another. When I was in high school, it was the need to have all A's. And then after I graduated, my anxiety got a little bit stronger. When I went to college, on top of the pressure of good grades, it was the big crowds and new scenery that I was, I guess, not familiar with.
Is this the first time you've seen a therapist?
Yeah, it's the first time.
Okay, Mandy, if you don't mind me asking, why have you waited this long when you've had anxiety all your life, or recent, in high school and so on? So what, why have you waited to go see a therapist?
Oh, it's fine that you asked that. I often myself think the same thing. I just struggle with meeting new people, so I've put it off.
So what moment made you say, I can't put this off any longer, I need to pick up the phone and call for help?
Well, I recently graduated from college, and I just started a new position with a great company. Thank you. My anxiety is through the roof, and I'm worried that I'm going to let my family down and let myself down. We really need a second income. The struggle of one income has really taken a lot of toll on my husband and I's relationship. I fear if I don't get a handle on my anxiety that my life is really going to change for the worse.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you have always struggled with anxiety. It is interfering with your life in many different aspects. Your family, your social life, your work life, and recently you started a new job which is very important for your family. You're worried that your anxiety will affect how you do your job, and it could possibly lead to you getting fired, which could cause major problems between you and your husband. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, Mandy, I just want to let you know that I'm going to do everything I can to help you. And the first step is making that call to get help. So I applaud you on getting out of your comfort zone and coming here this evening.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Mandy, I'd like to try something with you. I know it took a lot for you to be here today. I'm sure you are having some anxiety right now. And I would like to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest amount of anxiety you have, what is your anxiety right now?
I would say that right now my anxiety level is at an 8.
Would you say just because we've never met before and you're talking about your anxiety, so is that why you would say your level's at an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. What number would you like to see your anxiety being at the end of our session?
I would like to see my anxiety around about maybe a 4.
Okay, great. I think that's a great goal for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mandy, can you tell me what a normal day looks like to you? What do you do on an everyday basis?
Well, I wake up and I take a shower. I get ready for the day, and then at that point, I wake up my children. And then I get them breakfast and get them on the bus.
Okay, so after they get on the bus, what do you do after that?
Well, then I head to work, and usually the whole way to work, I'm thinking about my anxiety on the way there.
Okay, so what happens when you get to work?
I park my car, and then I head up to the door. Most of the day, I try to stay in my office. However, I have meetings all throughout the day as well.
Okay, so what are your feelings right before you go into meetings?
Well, I feel sick to my stomach. I get sweaty, and then I clam up, and I don't talk that much.
So when you're sitting back and just kind of watching, what's going on through your head?
Well, a lot of times I feel like everybody's looking at me. I feel like my hair's messed up. I feel like I don't feel myself. I feel like I have to worry about everything around me. I'm worried about if somebody's going to ask me a question or if I'm not going to know the answer, just things like that.
Okay. I can see why you would feel stressed out, being at work and feeling like you're gonna, mess up or something. And so what exactly do you think how is that gonna affect your job if you just kind of sit back and?
Well, sometimes if my anxiety gets too bad, I have to leave the situation. So I'm afraid that sometime I'm just gonna get so stressed out and worked up that I might end up walking out of an important meeting.
Right. So how long have you been at your job? Because I don't think we went over that. How long have you been there?
Well, I graduated college 2 semesters ago, so it's been with them probably about 4 or 5 months. Not very long.
Okay, so everything's still kind of new, and you haven't really showed your team like what you can do.
Right.
Okay. How does that make you feel when you feel like you can't do your job? Is it emotionally or?
Well, I just don't want to let my family down. So that's mainly what I think about. And that's why I'm here, because I'm afraid if I don't get help for it that I won't be able to work.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you're fine when you're getting your children ready for school. And when they're off to school and after you leave, you head to work and you start thinking about how much anxiety you have. And while you're at work, you avoid interaction with people. You just kind of sit back and really feel like everybody's staring at you. And then during meetings, you avoid talking to people. In doing this, you're fearing that you will lose your job?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I can see why you're worried about that. Try to remember, they hired you for a reason. Like, you met every qualification that they have, and they hired you. So that's got to make you feel a little good, right?
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Okay. Mandy, has there been a time recently that you can remember when you felt that you were going to have a lot of anxiety, and then there wasn't as much anxiety that you thought you were going to have?
Well, I can't really think of any right now.
Okay. Well, so if I were to maybe ask your husband a day that was better than most, what do you think he would say?
Well, I guess there was this one time a couple of weeks ago where I thought I'd have a lot of anxiety, and surprisingly I didn't.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that day? What was different about that day?
Well, my oldest child was having a Christmas program at school, and I remember thinking that maybe I could just have my husband record it so that I could watch it when they got home. But my daughter begged me to come, so I decided that I would give it a try, and I made sure that I sat next to the exit just in case. And when she walked out and started singing, she looked over at me and smiled and waved, and I just felt so much better than I thought I would.
I bet that made your daughter feel really good that you were there.
Yeah, I think it was just the smile on my daughter's face. It lit up the room. I think I just focused on her singing and didn't even pay attention to the people around me.
Okay. So you mentioned sitting next to an exit. What do you mean by that?
Well, like I said, that I was worried about if I was in a meeting at work and
you had to make a quick exit.
If I get real worked up, sometimes it's either I leave or I'm gonna just start crying.
So you kind of tend to sit back on the sidelines, you can make a quick exit
just in case
you feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do you think your anxiety wasn't so bad during her performance?
It was just her face.
Just focusing on her face.
Yeah, I knew that it meant a lot to her for me to be there. When she knew that I didn't necessarily feel comfortable going.
Okay. So you just kind of zoomed in on her. You didn't focus on your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how did that make you feel, being able to?
It felt good. It was a sense of pride, I guess. It was a big deal for me, and it meant so much for my daughter. I'm just thankful that I could do that for her.
That is amazing, Mandy, and I'm sure your daughter is just thrilled that you were able to be there, and your husband too. I mean, that's gotta feel good for your whole family. So I applaud you for doing that and going out of your comfort zone, and so it can be done. You can do that. So Mandy, I can tell the love that you have for your family is a big strength of yours, and you can really see that it pushes you to be better.
Yeah, you're right. They're everything.
I would like to recap a little bit with you. You usually have a lot of anxiety, and after thinking about it, you realize that there was a time recently when that anxiety wasn't so high. That time when you went to your daughter's Christmas performance and you realized your anxiety was lower than it usually is because you were just focusing on your daughter and her smile, and you weren't thinking about all the other things that were around you and all the new people.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, Mandy, I'd like to ask you another question. That's okay.
Sure. What's that?
Suppose that while you were sleeping tonight, a miracle happens. The miracle is that the problem that brought you here today, your anxiety, is solved. But since you're sleeping, you don't realize that the miracle happened. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, what will be different in your life? And what will tell you that the miracle had happened?
I'm not sure. I guess my life wouldn't feel so crazy.
What do you mean by crazy?
Well, I always feel like my mind is going a million different ways, and I guess I'm thinking of way too many things at once. Like, what is going to happen if I go there? Will there be a lot of people? Will there be a quick exit if I start to feel like the room is closing in on me? All those things run through my mind every single time that I go anywhere.
Okay, that's definitely a issue we need to work on because that's really affecting your life. But do you feel like the room is closing in on you a lot?
Yeah, when I'm in a crowded room, I mean, I would say any more than about 15 people, I get real worked up.
Okay. So if you were to wake up and you didn't feel this crazy feeling, what would you feel like?
I would feel comfortable in my own skin. I would wake up happy and not worrying all the time. I would be able to live my life to the fullest and not full of what ifs.
Okay. So having this miracle happen, you'd be happier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think that's great. And a lot of people have trouble answering this question. So the fact that you could answer that for me really shows that you want to get better and that you're, in the right direction. And I think it's very important for you to think ahead and really see how your life would be if you didn't have to live with all this anxiety.
Thank you. It's nice to hear positive feedback every now and then.
You're welcome. Mandy, do you remember at the beginning of our session I asked you to rate your anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the highest anxiety you can have?
Yes, I remember.
And now that we're towards the middle of our session, what would you rate your anxiety at right now? So what is your anxiety at right now towards the middle of the session?
I mean, I feel a little better. I'm a little less anxious with our conversations, so I would say probably around a 6 right now.
Okay, well that's good. That's a whole 2 levels down,
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you wanted your number to be at the end of the session?
I wanted it to be a 4.
Okay, well we still have a little time to work on that. But after sitting here, going back and forth, I am glad you are starting to feel more comfortable with me, and we will work on getting you to the 4. Okay, Mandy, so I kind of want to, we talked a little bit about what's going on with your everyday life, but I kind of want to go back to where your anxiety begins during the day.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your drive to work?
Well, usually I'm thinking about, if I know that we're going to have a meeting that day, I'm thinking about the meeting and I'm trying to come up with possible questions that will be asked or possible things that we'll be talking about, and then I over and over and over I try and go over answers that I'll say or responses to things that other people say. So it's a back and forth in my mind of trying to figure it all out.
Okay. Do you know ahead of time what your meetings are going to be about?
Not always.
Not always. So on the days that you do know what your meetings will be about, do you prepare at all?
I try to.
So take notes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you feel better, like when you are able to do that?
It actually, yes, it does. It makes me kind of, I guess, feel prepared to where
Confident.
I don't have to think as much on my drive there about what I'm going to say because
I already thought about it. Yeah. Okay. And I wonder if are some of these meetings just kind of sprung up, or are they all planned out?
They're usually planned out, and I have one almost every day.
Okay. So I wonder if maybe, does your boss know about your anxiety?
I try and let him not know.
Not know. Okay. Why wouldn't you want your boss to know about that?
Because a lot of times I think I can keep it hidden, and so I think if I tell him, he's going to notice more of the things that I do.
He's gonna look at you different, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Well, you might be surprised. Like I said earlier, like they hired you for a reason. They know you can do your job good, and these meetings are just very minute, like parts of your day. So I'm wondering if maybe if you did have a conversation, just let them know, like you do have anxiety with larger groups and in like smaller rooms and stuff, and maybe he would just kind of give you a brief like the day before, about what your meeting would be about, so you'd feel more prepared. Do you think? I mean, I know you haven't been there for very long, but do you feel like maybe you would be willing to do that?
I do.
You do?
And I do think that that could probably help. It's just sounds like a good idea, but I'm afraid that I might get too worked up to be able to do it. Like right now I could say, yes, that sounds like a fantastic idea, but I feel like on my drive to work to have this conversation with him that I would freak out.
So just thinking about, just talking to your boss is pretty overwhelming to you?
Yes.
Okay. So how long is your drive to work?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Okay, so that's a lot of going back and forth in your own head. Have you ever thought about doing like breathing techniques or anything? Like, when you start to feel this anxiety?
Sometimes I have to. Sometimes my heart starts racing so much that I feel like I'm going to stop breathing. So I kind of have to.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
In my nose.
No.
Out my mouth.
Okay. And are they like short breaths, or do you?
I try and do them long, and I try and hold them in, and
do you feel like that helps you at all?
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes, but okay. I think breathing is a really good way to maybe in those moments of, just stepping aside, and maybe not even like leaving the room like when you're meeting, but maybe just kind of stepping aside, looking down, close your eyes, breathe in, or like the time when you went to your daughter's Christmas concert and you were just focused on your daughter. Maybe do you keep pictures of your family?
I usually don't carry anything with me to work.
No. So do you think maybe taking a picture, so like when you're doing like these breathing exercises, maybe you could look at like picture of your family and kind of go back and realize like, oh, this is why I'm doing this job. I'm doing it for them, and maybe
that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
I could try that.
Okay. So Mandy, I want to ask you, like, have you ever been on medication for your anxiety? Because I know a lot of people tend to go towards just taking medicine.
Well, I did go to the doctor and talk to him a little bit. This has been a while back, but he prescribed me Xanax, and I didn't like it. It made me tired and made me be forgetful, and I just didn't feel like myself.
Okay, I can see that. Sometimes medications do have that effect on you. Other than that feeling of not being yourself, and did it help with your anxiety?
I'm not sure that I took it long enough to be able to tell. I just know that, I guess maybe it did a little bit, like my heart went race the way that it used to, but
it kind of calmed you a little bit.
To me, it's not worth it to not feel like myself. I'd rather be able to get my heart to slow down without having to feel funny.
And I know a lot of people just tend to go towards like, oh, give me some medicine, prescribe me this. That's not really my philosophy. I want to kind of get to the root of the problem and come up with ways so you're not on medication every day, because sometimes those have a dependency type thing, and I don't want you to, just cover up the problem if you want to get to the root of it.
I would have to agree with that.
Okay. All right, Mandy. So, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about like your social life, because we've talked about work, and I know you have social anxiety as well. So, do you go out often, or
Hardly ever.
ever? So, you don't have any. Do you have any friends outside of like your husband and your 2 kids?
I do have, I've got a group of about 3 really good girlfriends, and I talk to them on the phone, and we get together every now and then. But when it comes to us going out or meeting to go out to dinner and stuff like that, we don't do things like that. It's more of a one-on-one. I just stop by their house, or they stop by my house, or I call them.
Okay. Do you think it affects your friendship at all?
I don't. My friends know all about.
They know. Well, that's good that you have a support system outside your family. Because sometimes, it's nice to see support from outside the home.
Yeah.
So, is going out something that you want to do? Do you have any desire to? You just can't, or?
I would like to be able to go out to eat with my girlfriends, or even my family. A lot of times when my family and I eat to-go food, it's to-go food. It's not us going and sitting down at a restaurant.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can work on that a little bit, but it's good that you have, a few friends outside. Are they friends that you had for a long time? So they just know how your anxiety is.
Yeah, I've known them probably for about 10 years.
Okay, so making new friends, you don't think is very...
Well, I can be social with people at my work, but it's one-on-one. One-on-one, I'm fine, but when it comes to the group, when we're in a meeting, or even just the girls going out to lunch at work and stuff, I usually stay by myself.
Okay, so you eat lunch alone then?
Mm-hmm. I bring my lunch.
You bring your lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think maybe we could try something? Do you think it would be possible to maybe ask somebody, and it has to be a big group, we can start off small, but do you think you could ask someone that you talk to regularly at work or whatever, and just ask them maybe to come into your office and watch with you, and it'd just be the 2 of you? Do you think that sounds like something you could do?
I could try that.
Okay, and then maybe from there we can do that maybe once a week, and then gradually go up. When you do this, though, I want you to really kind of think about how you're feeling, and Okay, so we'll keep that in mind.
I can try that.
Okay, so let's take it back to your home life. I know you have trouble doing things like going places with your kids. Tell me a little bit about what they like to do.
Well, I like to go to the park. My husband likes to take them to the park on weekends. Sometimes I go, sometimes I don't. If it's a really nice sunny day, I usually stay home because I know there's going to be a lot of people at the park. But on the days where it's overcast or maybe even a little bit chilly, I'll go with them because I realize there's not going to be as many people there.
Right. Okay.
And then they like to play with their friends at school, and they play kickball at recess, and they're really energetic children.
Yeah. So do you feel you hold them back at a certain extent?
When it comes to being at home, I think I do. They don't really get to do much other than play with each other unless my husband's home.
Okay. So what do they have a lot of friends? that wanna maybe do play dates or something? Is that?
They both have a couple of friends that they talk about, and I know that that's who they play with at recess, and they've been in the same class a couple of years in a row, and so I know they have a couple that they would probably like to get together with.
Okay, did they ever ask you to have people over?
They have asked, and my issue with it is I know in order to have friends from school come over, I would have to meet their parents, and that makes me really anxious.
Okay, I understand that. So they've never had any friends over?
Not from school, no.
Not from school?
I've had they've played with my friends' children, but that's it.
Okay. Okay, Mandy, so what I'm hearing you say is that your kids have never really had any of their friends, their school friends over.
Right.
But your friends that you've known for a while that are aware of your anxiety, they have kids and then they come over and play?
Yeah.
But your children ask?
They have
their
asked,
school
yes.
Kids over?
They have asked.
So I can't help but kind of think, for birthdays, like do your kids ever want kids to come over? Like what do you do for your children's birthdays?
Well, we have a lot of family, so
How do you feel around your family? Is it
around my family I feel pretty comfortable, but
you've known them?
yeah.
Okay.
But since our family is so big, usually we just do it at the house and just invite family and maybe one or two of my friends with their kids. But usually it's just a little get together, and I know the kids would like to have a party where they could invite their friends from school, and actually my daughter's birthday is in a month, and she's been asking to either do it at the bowling alley or at a bounce town place where they have all the big bouncy houses. She's been asking about that, but I don't know if that's something that I could do, and I know she wants to invite friends of hers as well, but I'm afraid that we might just end up making it the way that it usually is at home with family.
And do you think that's, how do you think that makes your daughter feel? That you can't do things like that on her birthday?
I know she's happy with having a cake. She's happy with having presents. So I think at this age, I'm not sure that it really affects her all that much, but I know that in a year or two it is.
Right. So what do you think that you can do to help kind of make that
Well, I
happen
have
for
a
her?
list of the other parents in my kids' class, and I mean, maybe I could ask my daughter and ask my son who their best friend in school is, and maybe I could email their parents and invite them to the birthday party.
Okay. And do you feel like just showing up at the birthday party would be fine? Are you trying to this birthday? Are you trying to do like maybe a bounce house or the bowling alley? Or are you gonna try to do that next year? Do you think that's something you can do in a month?
I think I could just start by inviting those two friends and their parents to come to the birthday party at our house this year, and maybe that'll make it easier for next year for me to be able to invite more of my kids' friends.
Okay, I think that's a good start. And like you said, your daughter is completely content with the birthday party at the house at this age. Yeah, they get cake and ice cream, they're good to go. But like you said, it as they get older, it will probably become more of an issue.
Yeah.
So I think it's good though that you're here, you're trying to get help, you're making an effort, and I think your kids will really see that you are making
I
an
hope
effort.
so, because I do want to change.
Okay. Okay, Mandy. So as we're ending our session, I kind of want to recap back at the beginning. We've talked about your anxiety and when you go to work. Maybe try breathing, and we're going to work on that. I think another thing you can do is breathing, but also listening to maybe your favorite. Do you listen to music while you're trying to move to work?
I do, but it's really low, and
Okay.
I've got so many things running through my mind that I don't even hear it.
Okay. So maybe turning that volume up a little bit and really trying to drown out those voices and that kind of go back and forth with your anxiety. And then at work, you're going to ask one of your coworkers if they want to do lunch.
Yeah. And
just in your room, or if you're not comfortable with just having one-on-one in your room, maybe somewhere off to the side.
There is a lunchroom. There's a lunch area.
Okay. So maybe we can work on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've talked about how you're going to help like with your kids, and we're going to work on emailing your kids' friends so that they can come to their birthday party, which is in a month. Okay. So we have a little bit of time. And then next year we're going to try to do it in a public place instead of your house.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we have a lot more sessions in between there. So I really think we can work on getting to that. That's a pretty good goal. So
okay.
We have quite a bit of time for that. So kind of going back to when I asked at the beginning of the session, and you rated your anxiety. Do you remember what that was at the beginning of the session?
An 8.
Okay. And then we kind of touched base with it in the middle, which was at a, do you remember?
Went down to a 6.
Okay. So now that we've talked for a little while, what do you feel like your anxiety is right now?
Well, I know I said that my goal was a 4. And if I'm not a 4, then I'm really close to a 4.
Really close. All right, that's great. Like, awesome. And thank you for working with me and being very open with yourself, because that makes my job a little easier when you guys are more open. But now that we're nearing the end of our session, Mandy, I would like to say that I'm very proud of you for making this first step and choosing to get help. And I would like to set up some more sessions if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay. We'll definitely do work towards that goal, and then we'll come back and work on the homework. So we're going to work on all those things we listed. And you feel pretty comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I can do this.
Okay, so that's going to be, I think, in about another week. You feel another session?
Okay.
Okay, we'll get you set up with time. But I really want to say thank you for coming in today, and I really look forward to our next session. And please call me, even during the week, if during my hours, of course. If you want to call me, if you have any questions.
Okay.
I'm always here to talk to you.
Well, thank you for seeing me. I appreciate everything you're doing to help me better my life.
Okay, you're very welcome.